welcome everyone to the MMOs.com podcast. Episode 160 here, an auspicious number, if there are any. And I'm joined this week by...
Omer.
Alright. We got a raw week for you guys, alright? No weekly raid this week. A little bit of a hot button, controversial topic we want to get discussed instead of the weekly raid.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't warrant a weekly raid, but probably still going to be exciting. But first, let's talk a little bit about what we played this week. What do you got?
I've been playing a bit of Super Smash Bros. Melee, both with friends and some net play with strangers. Got my ass kicked by strangers on the internet on Smash Ladder. It's one of those experiences where you play Smash with your friends and you always kick your friends' ass, and then you play other people at school who are much better, and then you get your ass kicked. Right? It was kind of like that because Smash Bros. Melee, is a GameCube game. You would play offline. With net play, you can play with friends, but I never knew about Smash Ladder where you could just play against strangers online with matchmaking. And obviously, people that play on there are really, really good. So I got my ass kicked on Smash Bros. Melee online. I've been playing a decent amount of League of Legends this last week, which has kept me occupied for a good amount.
I got a few questions about League, actually.
Go ahead.
So, obviously, it's still a huge game. But from what we heard from Super Data, it's the one game that's actually getting hit the hardest by Fortnite's success. And I want to know, how the game has evolved over the past few years. Is it better than you remember? Are the new changes better or worse? And second, do you notice a drop-off? Because unlike Dota, you can't actually see, live numbers day to day for League.
Well, first of all, is it better or worse? It's tough to tell. I mean, it's always a matter of opinion. Personally, I just think Season 2 was the best time I've ever had playing League. It was also my peak. And the meta was basically boost 3 potions every game. Just some fun stuff, but good nostalgic memories of Season 2. Over the years, it's changed a lot. But the core game is still the same. The meta has changed quite a bit. The biggest change this last season or two was basically the bot lane meta is now, well, typically every single game a bot lane would be a support hero and a ranged AD carry, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And for the first time in League's history, that's not the case.
What?
Bot lane is a mashup. It's bot lane's a fiesta.
Oh,
you can have 2 brawlers down there, 2 melee characters. Basically anything goes in bot lane now. Basically any 2 characters are viable in bot lane. Versus before, you always had to have a ranged AD carry on bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a game without any ranged AD carry nowadays too, which is pretty spicy. But it pissed off a lot of players because it makes a lot of the ranged AD carries kind of. But I've been playing League casually. I used to be mega hardcore into League, Season 2, 3, 4, and maybe a little bit of 5. And I really haven't played too much since, been casually playing since then. But I've been enjoying it. Been playing on a couple Smurf accounts, winning almost all my games, which is what you do when you play on a Smurf. But that's been mostly my week. And one other thing about the game's popularity, I've actually played a lot of HOTS before I played League recently and Dota 2. So I haven't played League in a hot while. So I've been playing HOTS and Dota 2 before then. And League feels more as alive as it always does. In fact, I was mega surprised by instant queues. I would queue up, at a normal hour, hit the queue button, and literally the queue timer is at 000, and I would find a match. And actually that happened dozens of times. The worst case match I had took 2-3 minutes. But almost always my queue times are very quick in League. So the game is still booming. Obviously lost players to Fortnite, but not enough to really matter.
All right, fair enough. Any new graphic updates since the last time I played, or no?
Some character models got changed, but generally it's the same.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
I played 2 mobile games this week that I want to talk about. One was the Star Ocean one. And
what did you think about that one?
Okay, so here's the thing. I really never got into Star Ocean. I know you did, and I watched you play a little bit. So none of the characters, environments really resonated with me. But I did. I wanted to give it a fair shot. There's 3 planets currently available in the campaign. I beat them all in one day.
You beat all the campaigns in one day.
Yes, and not only that, at no point did I actually play. I auto-played everything. I didn't. No, there's a tutorial at the beginning where they literally throw a million things at you: daily login awards, events, logins, first-time gifts, all this stuff, right? And they do all these tutorials like how to upgrade your weapons, how to fuse your characters, how to do all this stuff. I ignored all of it. I literally just got my starting people, autoplay on, didn't upgrade any of my gear, and I went through the whole story. Not even once did I get close to dying with any or losing.
So you literally beat the entire campaign.
Yes.
With no chance of death.
No chance.
With autoplaying everything.
Yes.
So what else is there to do right now that you've done that?
So the only thing I can do at this point now is I log in, and there's something called a maze or something. 3 times a day, you can run the maze. The maze can only be played solo, and I've never died on that either. And each round takes maybe 20 seconds. So there's about a minute of gameplay for me to do. And then I can waste all my stamina, because there's a stamina game, doing events. The thing about events is you can actually play here's a cool thing about the game. You can play multiplayer, where you go into battle with one of your characters, and 3 other players each send 1, right? But
Yeah.
so this basically kind of multiplayer, but at the same time, the fact that you can just queue, and you'll be queued with everyone who's playing. So you'll be queued. You'll have, let's say you're like level 20, right? You'll be queued with someone who's like level 150, and then they'll just one shot everything, and you get the equal contribution, like reward.
This just seems really weird because, like you said, wait, hold on. So all you can do is farm events and do this maze now, right?
Yeah,
and that's it.
That's
You've
it.
beaten all the campaigns.
I beat all the levels. Yeah.
How on earth? What were they thinking? That
Less
the
than 1 day.
story was this
Less
easy?
than 1 day. In 1 evening, maybe like 4 hours, I beat everything.
In one sitting, you basically beat everything this game had to offer, and the only thing left is basically just farm waifus. And like, what the fuck are they? What?
Yeah. I mean,
That's not the case with all the gacha collectors. Like with Fate Grand Order, another similar kind of game, plays probably very similar. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of stages to do, and you actually do reach difficult content eventually, especially if you don't get a lot of 5 stars, which is really weird. Even Fire Emblem Heroes, like you don't get to beat all of that in one sitting.
I played Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Heroes was much better in my opinion because you couldn't beat. The way it worked is the story in Fire Emblem Heroes had an easy, medium, hard version, right?
Yeah.
So the easy one you could just beat all the way through, but on the later stages you have to actually pick. Do you want like a warrior and a healer and an archer and in Star Wars doesn't matter. There are also there are tanks and ranged classes and healers, but it doesn't matter. You can any group of 3 of anything, you'll just insta win.
That's actually just kind of sad that the game is that easy. I mean, you kind of lose any kind of meaning. I mean, they could have made the early stages easy and made the later stages difficult, but they just seem to make it a face roll, which I think the trend we've been seeing in MMORPGs for a while. I mean, they've got to have maybe they'll probably add some side content, some side raids that are meant for the hardcore players, because as is, it just seems like a really bizarre game design decision.
Pure Cat says it gets harder later on though, but later on where? Like I beat everything. There's nothing else to like. What else can I do? Like when you do the event, you could choose to intentionally like do a level 110 mission, right? When you're like level 20, I guess then you could lose. But why would you do that? You would just do the level 20 mission until you're level 30, and then you do the level 30 mission, right? Like I don't get where I could lose in this game.
Yeah, it's big yikes. I don't know what they're thinking either. I mean, but it'll probably make a lot of money. These mobile games tend to do pretty well. This game's been out, I think, in Japan for a while as well. I'm pretty sure it's doing pretty well in Japan. So it's, it makes sense for them to bring it here. I'm just hoping they do something more with it.
I have a theory about these mobile games. So for years in the West here, when it comes to free to play, we're used to getting Korea's sloppy seconds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, at least in the mobile front, we're getting Japan's sloppy seconds. So like you said, Omar, this game has been out since 2016 in Japan.
Yeah.
And only this month, right? It came out here. Yeah. So 22 years later.
Like
and mobile games, the pace of progress is much quicker than PC games. So 2 years in mobile world, it's like 8 years in like PC world. So I think they're just dumping it here and giving us all these like daily rewards and instant levels and you can't die. Just trying to get any little money they can from us because the game's already made. Why not?
Yeah, they lose nothing. They just spend a little money localizing it and just put it out. I mean, graphically the game looks gorgeous. I mean, it's a Square Enix game. It's Star Ocean. Is there like a story? Did you read the story at all, or just?
I read the story for the first campaign world. So the 1/3 of the story I guess I read. Basically, they're trying to justify why there's all these random characters from all the different games. So basically, you run into some alien lady who can like summon characters from across time, and
I hate when games do that. Yeah, it's trying to bring all the worlds together.
Yeah. And they pull a Star Trek Voyager where you randomly find yourself like 50,000 light years away, another side of the galaxy, and the whole story is your journey back to Earth, like Voyager.
All right. Enough of this mobile garbage. What else have you been playing all day?
Okay, so this one didn't even bother me. It was a shitty mobile game. It's what I expected. I didn't care too much, right? But the second one I played was MapleStory M. And Omar and I, we have fond memories of MapleStory. We played it for years.
Yeah, I love MapleStory.
We played it every day after high school for a couple of years. And like our friends played it. We all played it together. So it has much more resonance with me than Star Ocean did. And I think that's why I was more disappointed in it and more saddened. MapleStory M is a huge hollow shell that obviously just banking on nostalgia. The world is very similar to the original world, right? The monster designs, all the NPC, they even have Shroomy. That in
Shroomy, the girl in Kerning near the subway. She's the hoe near the subway entrance. Yeah,
exactly.
I know her.
And the sad thing is, this game is autoplay, and autoplay is like not even a lot of.
Put that MMOs.com video on. We don't want to see this rando.
All right, fine. So, the sad thing about this one is, like I said, it has all the monsters and designs and areas. So you think you're gonna get something similar to MapleStory, right?
Yeah.
But the you don't, because the autoplay is just too easy. A lot of games, even PC games, have some kind of autoplay, but you can't always do it, or you can't do it efficiently, I should say. You got to always go somewhere lower level than you to do the autoplay, right? Or the bot. But in this game, again, I didn't even bother with the upgrading or the fusioning items, all that crap. I didn't bother with any of that. You can autoplay and it'll just do everything, and you'll never die. I'm level 83, so I played it for a while. The max level on my server right now is 111.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the Scania NA server, by the way, guys. And I've never come close to dying. I've never had to look at my inventory or my stats. I've never bothered choosing which skills to use. I just used the first one I got. And there's nothing. There's no soul. But
you never upgrade your skills even.
No, when you level up, you get skill points. You can upgrade them. I do that. Right. There's no choosing though. You get new skill points at 0, like 30, 60, and 100. You have enough skill points to get everything. So there's
no actual customization. You basically get to max out everything at the end of the day.
You max everything. But one interesting thing you might find interesting is leveling from like 1 to 20 takes about an hour of autoplay, which is actually faster than how long it takes in actual PC MapleStory these days, right?
You level pretty damn quickly on PC MapleStory now too.
Yeah, exactly.
Up to 150.
Yeah. So I think you actually. Now I'm 83, right? And the leveling has not slowed down in the mobile version. I think around 83 might slow down in
oh, for sure, yeah,
PC.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's funny that in the first 1 to 20 at least, it goes actually faster on PC than it does on mobile.
Because all the story stuff you get to see, click next. If you didn't do that stuff, I'm sure it would level up quite a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've played this before. I actually just recently downloaded it again. The aesthetics are just really tugging on nostalgia.
Yes.
Everything from the music to the sound effects to the characters to the everything in this game, the hairstyles, literally the hairstyles are straight from MapleStory 1. It feels and looks like MapleStory 1 on the PC, but dumbed down to an incredible degree. Make and autoplayed down. So it really just wants you to. It's pulling on nostalgia, and I think a lot of people who played this just went back to the PC version. I know one guy in our chat said after playing MapleStory M, he just downloaded MapleStory M PC. That's
a good point. That's what it made me want to do too, because I feel like I'm not getting the experience here. I'm getting a very hollow experience.
Yeah.
I'm actually since I played MapleStory 1 so much, I do want to see what the end game is in this game, because same thing story here. I didn't die once leveling so far. There are like daily dungeons you can do, right? There's like a daily dungeon. There's like an elite dungeon, a mini dungeon. I've done them all, and you can even party for them, right? But I didn't bother. I just went solo. I cleared it without even the challenge.
You cleared the party dungeon solo?
Yes, the one that's my level.
Odd.
So I'm not max or anything yet. I'm 83. I think the max is like 140, 150, but the highest level on my server right now is 111 because it just came out.
Yeah.
I'm curious when something will happen. Like when do I get to play the game? Like instead of just watching it.
There's gotta be. You would think like a lot of these autoplay games, like at least with Lineage, what's the Lineage mobile game, Lineage 2 Eternal, whatever it's called, the one that makes a lot of money. Like you have to do the dungeons, you have to do the first time on manual before you can grind on autoplay. Like you were required to run those manually.
Same thing here. So in the dungeon, you have to do it manually, but it's still not challenging. But it does force you to at least hold the phone.
Yeah, at least you hold the controller.
I'm actually playing MapleStory M right now, guys. My dude is just doing everything for me. Look at this. Oh, it's walking by itself to the quest location.
What's remarkable about this is it seems like this is clearly here to stay. Like every mobile game does this. There's a handful of mobile games by a company called Azabimo. They do the Japanese company, and all their mobile games, practically every single one, but Alchemist Story, whatever the Alchemist Story, their last one, is basically a traditional PC MMORPG on mobile. So if you want a more traditional PC MMORPG on mobile with no autoplay nonsense and some challenging elements, do check out some of the Azabimo titles. But it seems like for the most part that's pretty niche, and with every other game company on mobile has the autoplaying. So, but it just seems like a lot of these game companies go pretty overboard with autoplaying. Like I would like the autoplay to maybe just like mindlessly grind low level stuff, but you should be able to autoplay your way through like the current content that you're on. That seems a bit much, because even World of Warcraft on PC today and Final Fantasy 14, which we've poked fun at for being stupid easy and has been dumbed down, even those games you're at least required to manually do them, and it is still like somewhat feasible to die. Like we always say, if you just roll your keyboard you'll beat it, but there are like some encounters in the WoW storyline and in the Final Fantasy 14 storyline where you're doing dungeons where you have to actually pay attention a little bit, but that's not the case in a lot of mobile games. And it just seems like they took that concept that we've seen where games got dumbed down. Practically every game has done. Even MapleStory on the PC has gotten dumbed down. Like this, MapleStory is not immune from this criticism. MapleStory pre-Big Bang was a much more challenging game than it is today. but it also got dumbed down at least to level 150. The grinding got easier. It was easier to get loot and whatnot. But they took that concept and really just blew it up tenfold on mobile with autoplay. Do you remember back in the day on MapleStory? Like you couldn't make a mage. Like your first classes could not be a mage because you just didn't have the money to fund potions.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could farm all day and you have no potion. If you have no mana potions, you just can't realistically level up a mage in MapleStory 1. So your first classes like could not be that until you got at least decent level to farm money or make some money. Because you would run out of potions all the time. Mana potions were not cheap. Good times though.
I actually have a story about that. Like, so I had a friend who did make a mage first in high school, and he didn't want to play anything else, so he ended up paying money, RMTing for Mesos, right? But now the question I have is, what is the monetization strategy from MapleStory M? So I'm 83, and I guess in the mobile world that's not that far because it only took me a day or two of auto playing, but so far I've had zero potential to spend money. Like there's no reason to. Like I didn't even open the shop yet because everything is easy. I'm face rolling everything. I have a steady drop of experience coming my way, skill points, free gear from the random chests you get for like level up bonuses. So so far I have not hit any kind of paywall or even pay option. And I've played mobile games like Clash Royale or Clash of Clans where you hit the pay option very quickly because you'll see a building. This will take 5 minutes to pay, to build. But if you click here and spend like 5 cents, it'll build instantly, right?
Well, they have those. They have the loot box in the game. You get like a free one every day or something, every few hours, or you can pay for the expensive ones too.
But why would you pay for them so far at my level? Because everything is getting one shot. Like what could better gear get me right now? Like I'm already killing everything instantly without even trying. Like I don't get what I'm supposed to. I can solo the dungeons. I auto grind easily. Like what would I be paying for?
I don't know. It does seem kind of odd. Maybe you'll hit a brick wall eventually.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Like a lot of games will do that where it becomes really easy until you hit a certain point where it becomes very difficult and you have to spend money or grind forever to do it.
I'm waiting for that. I'm actually curious when that will happen.
All right, enough about mobile games for now, boys. We'll see where mobile games go from now. I'm hoping we go a little away from automation. I'm hoping RuneScape Mobile does really well, so we don't have to, this automated crap goes away. Let's talk about the little controversial topic of the week. Slightly controversial. So Altay, why don't you introduce it? Because you shared the article with me earlier.
Sure, I saw this when it first came out, and it's one of those here we go again articles. So gaming.
Here we go again, boys.
Gaming's toxic men explained. So Polygon decided to call some experts in gaming, right? And like Amenesis Sarkeesian and all these kind of
real experts. These are experts.
Experts on gaming. And I just love the first sentence here of this first expert. Kate Miltner is a PhD candidate at some school. Okay, so here's the first sentence here, guys. You can tell it's off to a good start. I'm a feminist and media scholar, and as such, I don't believe in gender essentialism.
What a sentence.
Pure gamer right here.
That's she's a gaming expert, guys. All right, we need her to tell us about gaming. She's a feminist media scholar. What the fuck is a feminist media scholar? What is she talking? Gender essentialism? Like, I feel like a lot of these people just literally live in their own world. Like nobody that's actually in gaming talks about any of this. Like this is not a topic that anyone actually discusses.
Also,
they live in their own world.
Oh yeah, and by the way, the fact that she's falling for this classic like female woman traps. Like I'm a feminist. Why do you gotta say what you are? Why don't you just describe what it is you're trying to describe and
talk about your opinion
and let your expertise and knowledge and wit describe themselves. Like why do you have to say what you are? Like right there. Like just talk about your spiel, and then people should get like where you're coming from and like wow, that's a really cool point. I didn't think of that. Yeah. But no, she got to say it.
You have to say it's not going to be nearly as profound.
And why can't you just be a media scholar? Why do you have to be a feminist media scholar? Like I don't get.
Because that means they're going to be looking at something from this very specific lens. It becomes like this feminism is this platform where you have to view everything from a certain perspective. It seems like.
Yeah,
they're coloring their.
What
opinion.
if I said I was a masculine media scholar? Would that I bet I'd be lampooned for that, right? But
whoa! If you can't do that, you're the oppressor. Come on, they're the pressee, all right? The pressee can be scholars, all right?
So I'll link this. It's really long, actually, a bunch of spiel nonsense. But what I found interesting about this is the questions they pose are kind of like self-serving. Like they assume the conclusion and then they gotta justify it. So I'll give you some. Scroll down here and look what I mean. Oh my God, it's so long.
But even the premise of the entire article kind of nags me the wrong way. The entire article is why are men toxic online towards women?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if these people have ever played video games, but men are toxic. People are toxic to everyone.
Yeah.
This is not exclusive to like literally people get harassed on video games all the time. Toxicity is just normal part of online competitive gaming. It happens all the time. It's not specifically against women. It just literally like, it happens to everyone.
So here's some of the things. Why are objectionable opinions so common in gaming spaces?
All right, let's hear it.
They don't ask, are they common, right? Why is online gaming chat rife with overt and casual racism? Why are gaming's toxic men so enraged? Like, are they? I don't know. Like, why don't they explain that first? But they don't bother. Why do so many men in gaming exhibit a persecution complex?
What? Why don't they ask the question? Why do people get enraged? Not why are men enraged?
Yeah. How much?
There are ragers on the female side as well. You know, this it's just normal online gaming behavior. It just I don't understand.
I like this one. Why do so many of these men labor under a delusion of heroism? What?
What?
I don't know. It's
heroic defenders of a noble cause.
It's just bizarre. I feel like if you said it the other way, you could justify it too. But why are you coming to this conclusion? Like, why are cults of personality so powerful in gaming's toxic swamps? You could just say anything. Why are cults of personality so powerful in Hollywood's toxic swamp or sports toxic swamp? Like,
yeah, literally, you could replace gaming with literally any industry over there, and that's how you could talk about. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like I said, every question is kind of already coming to a conclusion. You know, it's very.
This whole thing is like a giant creative writing piece, right? They just chose a random question, and you gotta just write about it. I don't know.
But the whole men being toxic thing it just seems very disingenuous. Like, men get bullied online more than women, obviously because more men play video games as well. But it just seems really silly to harp on that. I mean, people indiscriminately yell and be toxic to each other all the time. It's part of the allure. Look, I've played Overwatch a lot, like in the last year or so, and when girls talk on voice chat, like realistically, I don't think they get, you know, disproportionately more hate than guys. Like maybe like, you know, obviously I have a small sample size, but I don't think it's disproportionate. People are toxic to each other all the time, and it's just a natural course of things.
Yeah, I think that's something people miss. Like, men are toxic to each other too, so it's not just they're not targeting women; they're targeting everyone.
And the article also says like obviously gaming isn't biological. Women play games and stuff, but like yeah, they do. Women do play games, but the reality is women don't play the games that like a lot of the hardcore gamers play, or even the audience of these gaming publications where they talk about feminism. Like women play match 3 games. I'm not trying to be like that's the reality. Women play.
Know that, girls? Go play your match 3 games.
And there's actually here's an article I wanted to link you all. I dropped it in Twitch chat if you can see it. Female gamers by genre. Like, I'm not making this up. There's data on what kinds of games girls play. So if you scroll down to the percentage of gamers in each genre that are female, you know, guess which industries they dominate? 69% of the people in match 3 are females. I love the family/farm sim games are female dominated. You know that those are the games they play. You know.
Oh my god, I love it.
This is an opinion. This is they play puzzle games. You know, the games that we play, and you know most hardcore gamers they play. You know, MMORPGs, RPGs, open world games. 14% females there. MOBAs are 10% female. First-person shooters are 7%. Tactical shooters like CS:GO and Rainbow Six Siege are 4%. So yeah, women don't play a lot of these games. So it's not even like. So when people view these as like a men's domain, this isn't even like controversial. You know, it is a men's domain. CS:GO is a male-dominated game. Overwatch is a male-dominated game. That's just a reality of it. I mean, it's not that women can't play these games. There's nothing wrong with women playing these games. But to preface your article by saying that it's, you know, it's a toxic environment for women. Men think it's only for them. And they always bring up like, oh, but the split between gamers, female gamers and male gamers like 50-50. But it is if you look at everything in the casual games and match 3 games, but in the hardcore games, it's not. These are male-dominated games. Actually, Altay, can you guess what percentage of Overwatch's players are female? And by the way, Overwatch has the highest percent of female gamers of any FPS, and it's double the second leading FPS game.
I'll say 10%.
16%.
16. Wow.
That's twice as many as the next closest. So Overwatch appeals to girls more so than anything else, and at 16%. Which is pretty impressive, you know. I mean, I guess the game itself is more colorful. It's got more interesting characters. One of the reasons behind that.
I'm sure actually being on console helps too.
Oh, for sure. And actually, when I looked at this Quantic Foundry article, I was curious like what other games are like what popular MMORPGs, what the gender split is. I'm curious if anybody can get Sweet Jam made a funny comment in chat. 16% Mercy Man. What's actually really bizarre is that meme that the girls are all Mercy players is so true. Like it has so much truth to it because every time I start playing Overwatch, the first thing when I see somebody like lock in Mercy, and they have like a somewhat girl sounding name, I have to ask, like, are you a girl? Because I check if they're a Mercy main. If they're a Mercy main, I ask if they're a girl. And almost always, without a doubt, the girls that play Overwatch, they play Mercy.
Yep.
Across the board.
Donut plays Mercy. There you go.
There you go. More evidence over there. But I was looking at other MMORPGs too. What this split is between male to female, right? So, I have data for Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft, for example. Like, what do you think Final Fantasy 14's male to female ratio is?
Okay, so I'm gonna go by this chart here. It says Japanese RPG 33, MMO
It's
High
MMORPG,
Fantasy 36. So I will say for Final Fantasy, the female percentage is 36.
It's 30%.
Wow, so
7 to 3 ratio. But I look at that chart too. I think this chart for MMORPG is a little bit misleading because World of Warcraft is actually quite a bit less as well. On that article, World of Warcraft is 23% are female.
Wow.
And Final Fantasy 14 is 7 to 3, which is I thought pretty impressive. I actually thought Final Fantasy 14 and WoW would both have a lot more.
Yeah, me
would have
too.
more guys than that.
More guys.
But, more guys.
Okay.
Because I know girls play more RPGs as well, more so than other games, but I didn't think it would even be that high.
But the thing is, Omar, you're playing at a high level, right? So the raids and stuff. I bet if you go, the higher you go, like your tier, like if you do like heroic raids,
girls don't raid.
It's like a single digit, baby, at the rating level.
Yeah. At the mythic raids in WoW and the average rage of Final Fantasy 14, the numbers are probably 1% or lower for females.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting is Yoshi P in an interview he talked about the split overall. The split overall was 7 to 3, but in South Korea, Final Fantasy 14 is 50-50 split between male and female, with actually slightly more females playing Final Fantasy 14 than men.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty impressive.
By the way, guys, okay, so if you go back to the, sorry to cut you off, but this Polygon article, the undercurrent is we got to make it more appealing to women, right? The community area. But Korea is way more toxic, right? For everyone, men and women, like just more toxic in online gaming than America is, in League and everything. And guess what? Gaming is bigger in Korea. You know what that means? People don't care about the toxic thing. They don't care about a little bit of, ribbing or joking. That's fine. It's humanity. Just deal with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're much more toxic in South Korea. I mean, we talked about how in League of Legends people just regularly throw games and they wouldn't get banned for it. Like the cursing and just being
asshole. Racist. You can just say racist shit in chat.
People are literally racist.
Yeah, and nothing
much
happens.
More so in South Korea and online gaming. And in that market, you still get a lot of females that play games.
Mm-hmm.
But in that same interview with Yoshi P, Monster Hunter Frontier Online, can you guess the ratio between male to female Altay?
Monster Hunter Online. Okay, I'm gonna say it's less. I think less when we play it. I'll say 20%.
9 to 1, so 10% is female, 90% male. Dragon's Dogma Online 2 is 80% male, 20% female, and Phantasy Star Online 2 is 80% male, 20% female. So from the data I've seen, it's like 20 to 30% for MMOs, MMORPGs at least. A lot of MMORPGs will be likely female. But yeah, a lot of these games are male dominated, and I don't think we have to reshape these games to appeal to more females, because I think just a lot of girls don't like playing a lot of these games. That's perfectly fine. If girls want to play match 3 games, good for them. I don't think game designers and developers should try to make match 3 games appeal to men. Make the game they want to make, and let's see who ends up playing it. And there's a divide between genders over there. That's nothing wrong with that.
Hold up, Amar. But are you? Let me scroll back up to her so I don't misquote her here. Are you a feminist media scholar, and as such don't believe in gender essentialism, right?
I'm not even sure what some of that means, but probably not.
Okay.
Look, actually, that actually brings up an interesting question. Are there Candy Crush tournaments by any chance? Are there like actual esports or Candy Crush? Because a lot of the thing is like girls don't do well in esports because they are underrepresented. That's a fact. They are underrepresented in esports. Like there's only one pro Overwatch player that's a girl. I think it's on a Chinese team, on the Shanghai Dragons. And for the most part, beyond that, I don't think there are any professional league teams or like CS:GO teams with female players on that. Like any like top tier ones. I'm not counting maybe some obscure teams, right? Like if there's an esports team for Candy Crush Saga with 70% dominated by females, where it's literally 30% men play the game, 70% female, do you think the best match 3 player is a girl or a guy?
I wonder if there are match 3 tournaments. Even I'd say it's not Candy Crush, but like the Bejeweled or something. I wonder if there are tournaments. I don't know. I have no clue.
My gut says if there is a match 3 tournament, the world's best match 3 player is going to be a guy.
Yeah, that's my guess too.
But we don't know, obviously. But we'll look at that though, because that'd be pretty interesting. It would dispel the notion that it's purely because of underrepresentation. Because obviously, guys tend to value competition a lot more.
Yeah.
It just and it's actually been surveyed by Quantic found the same people that made this chart, where guys value competition and completion a lot more than females.
But to bring it to MMOs for a second, I don't see a good reason why a game like Final Fantasy 14 or WoW couldn't have like a device you buy in the game, like a handheld device, and when you right click it, you can literally play a match 3 game in the client. Like, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do stuff like. I know Animal Crossing had a whole bunch of these things where in your house you can buy these arcade machines and play old games. I don't know why that's not a bigger thing in MMOs especially. Like, imagine in WoW you could buy something for your garrison, which is like your little housing instance. Why couldn't you buy something there that literally lets you play Candy Crush? Because remember, Candy Crush is owned by Activision Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could totally do that. I don't know why they don't do it, and it might attract more female players.
That would be, yeah, because honestly, like, resource gathering and crafting in MMORPGs is very boring as is anyway. If they literally just added match 3 elements to it, why not, right? It'd be more engaging for guys too, because real talk, crafting is boring.
Yeah.
If they added match 3, all the girls that play MMORPGs could be our match 3 experts, you know? Like, they'd be doing all the crafting for us because they dominate the industry, you know?
Oh yeah. There could be a lot of interesting ways you could tie in these mini games to, like you said, crafting, resource gathering, some kind of contribution to a guild. Imagine like the woman in the guild who doesn't like raiding, but instead they could just play match 3 to contribute like potions or resources to the guild.
Why not? It'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there might be a female professional league player. Have you seen Sneaky?
No, I don't know any.
You heard of, you know who Sneaky is?
I don't know.
Take a look.
Where am I looking?
He does cosplay too. She does cosplay.
Oh, is this a trap?
It's a dude, yeah.
There it is.
Could you tell though? Could you tell? I let the he slip out. All right. So
Yeah, you did.
I let it sneak out. He does a lot of cosplay.
Yeah.
Cross-dressing cosplay. Pretty convincing though, don't you think?
It's pretty convincing. Yeah. No.
The pizza one especially. It's pretty convincing.
I feel like those eyebrows are a little too much though. Kind of gives it away. It's trying a little too hard with the eyebrows.
Altay, would you fall for the trap? Would you know? Could you recognize the first spot?
The eyebrows give it away. Sorry.
Yeah. Altay's got a trap detector.
I'm sure it's easier in person, you know, with the whole body curves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think another fun stat too about the difference between guys and girls and what kind of games they're interested in. Let me see if we can pull it up real quick. But the whole, I don't know, that whole toxicity and men, it's not exclusive to men. If you played games long enough too, I guarantee anyone's encountered toxic girls online. I mean, they can be equally assholes too.
I used to play Dota with this girl. I'm not gonna say her name. She was so toxic. The minute like someone like messed up on our team, she would say stuff in voice chat in Dota like this. Oh, I bet you have a small dick. Like, you suck. Like, you're a loser. And I'm like, whoa. Like,
whoa.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't get that personal with if I was making fun of someone, I'd say something stupid like, you know, like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't go I wouldn't like insult their like physical looks because I don't know their physical looks. Why would I insult that? You know, I can't. But she would. She'd go right for that stuff. Like, and she'd just go on and on and on. It was so funny.
I'm the same way. I don't insult someone's physical appearance when I don't know what they look like.
Yeah,
but I feel like
stupid.
a lot of people do that though. A lot of people instantly assume like how fat somebody is, how good they are. You know, like that's a common insult as well.
Yeah,
I try not to do that. Like, I'm gonna call someone an idiot. Like I'll call them like low IQ, but I'm not gonna. It just seems like nonsensical to attack something that you like. At least I can call somebody low IQ based on what they just did, you know, in the game, and I can justify it. Like if they want to argue with me, I'll be like, listen, you did this and this. Are you an idiot? Like that's within the game. You made decisions that made me conclude that you're an idiot. But I can't start talking about your peer. I don't know what the fuck they look like.
Yeah. So that was weird. But there definitely are toxic female gamers.
So look at this this other Quantic Foundry article I just linked you, Altay. There's a strategy game faction preference. Very odd. But did you know the male to female split between strategy game faction preference is huge? For example, 48.8% of men are more likely to choose a technology-based faction, and only 20% of women are going to choose a technology-based faction.
Wait, hold on. I gotta hear that again.
Okay. So if you scroll down, you'll see it. It's on the strategy game faction preference.
Okay, here we go. So the most appealing settings are high fantasy and sci-fi. So female gamers. Okay. Okay. So
let me look directly at the chart if you can't find it.
I found it. I think it's the first one, right?
No, I liked it. I liked it.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
So look at this chart. I find it pretty interesting. The nature-based faction appeals a lot more to women than men.
This is funny.
As does the magic-based faction.
This
where the technology-based faction appeal. Like this seems so bizarre. Why is it that this is the case?
Well, because women all like that Wiccan shit. Like they want to be witches. You know, like the little mushroom circle with the fairies and like, oh, I'm in touch with nature, and yoga and all this crap and organic food. But guys are like, yo, where my spaceships at?
Where my spaceships at, boys?
How do I get away from these feminists? I need a spaceship. Get out.
That spaceship. Get the fuck out. You know. I thought the split there was pretty interesting.
This is interesting. This is interesting.
Pure Cat's comment. Holy shit. The only thing I do is I always ask if the Mercy main is a girl. Actually, I've also noticed very often, like if you ever in Overwatch, if you ever notice like a high ranked player queued up with a low ranked player, right? And the low ranked player is playing support, 9 times out of 10, it's a girl. So I'm playing a game like this guy's Diamond, and he's queuing up with a gold player. He's playing like a carry or a tank, and she's playing the other person was playing a Mercy. In that situation, gold, Diamond, one playing support, one not. 9 out of 10, it's a girl.
So can you explain what this Quantic Foundry site is? It seems like a legit site. What is this? Is it a blog?
It's a data analytics company. It's called the Science of Gamer Motivation. They basically look at what people prefer when they play games. I guess they want to provide like useful data and metrics to like game developers on how they can morph their games, how they can appeal to certain people, like who their audiences are.
I was gonna say, because my rules in chat is kind of saying this is meaningless. It's like a trap. But I don't think so. I think this is a professional site, and by the way, they sell this information. So there are game developers and other people in the industry that are paying for this kind of data. So this is not nonsense. This is as close as we can get to like some real stats on this in this industry.
When you can get $400 billion company like Tencent to pay you money for data that you've gathered on player behavior and preferences, like the market has spoken. This isn't like a blog bullshitting stuff. They're selling their data to giant companies. They're Hidden Path Entertainment. They're the guys I think that did they do CS:GO?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes,
yeah.
CS:GO.
Codename PopCap. PopCap is for the Bejeweled audience. We know. Splash Damage, Game Theory. They do business with a lot of other big studios. So this is a real company. Their data it's authentic. It's like Super Data has big similar clientele.
Yeah.
So definitely legit.
Cool. Right. Well,
you got to look at yeah. Go ahead.
This is totally unrelated, kind of. But do you know why these feminists are so like attacking gamer culture in America and all this stuff and like sexualization in Western games? They don't touch the Japanese sexualization though. You know why? They don't want to be accused of the cultural like misunderstanding.
Ooh.
So all the Japanese games with the big busty like naked girls like like totally way worse when it comes to sexualization and gender stereotypes in Western games. They can't say anything because then they're gonna be accused of not being culturally like they're gonna be a cultural imperialist, so they can't touch that shit.
What's actually because I looked at Galgun too. Maybe people in the chat have heard of this game. Like it's so common in Japan to have like overly sexualized female characters and like games literally built on like just read the synopsis for this, all right?
Just
read this out loud.
All right. In the sequel to Japan's notorious action game, an army of girls has fallen madly in love with you. Just my daily life. Fend off their unwelcomed advances with your pheromone shot and use gadgets to expel demons from their bodies in the most audacious first-person shooter you'll ever play.
Yeah. I mean, there's a scene where you literally have like a vacuum cleaner and you're just sucking up their panties.
Off their
no joke.
Off their bodies?
No joke. Yeah. No joke. And there's with the original Galgun, they actually added a DLC, $100 DLC, right? That let you get like an X-ray vision. You can actually see them completely naked, the underage girls. But it was $100 DLC.
$100 to see naked little girls, guys, and go to jail. Go directly to jail card on Monopoly.
But like you said, I don't think I've seen any feminists criticize these Japanese games.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these Japanese games like don't give any fucks about like roles of female characters in games. Because I think they realize it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I think
games take to the extreme.
There are feminists who do attack it. I'm not gonna say there aren't, but they don't make it to the highest echelon of like the feminist elite because it's so much because you can't touch. It's a delicate subject because now it's a different culture. Who are you to say their culture is worse or better or so they can't touch it.
I'm looking at one of the accolades for Galgun 2 is make sure you have a box of tissues nearby from Destructoid. Holy shit.
Destructor
Yeah,
said
got-
that.
Yeah.
I bet
I like it.
there's a Western game where it was like sexual. You couldn't say that. You know?
No, you couldn't. You
Yeah.
just it just the premise of the game. It's very obvious it's sexualized, and it goes against anything
Like
we've heard.
if EA made this game, right, or something like this,
They couldn't.
they get
get
lampooned. Yeah.
Yeah, they get so much shit for it. It's just really silly.
Well, speaking of Japan, I have an actual interesting kind of game coming out. I'll play the trailer. Have you heard of this?
Let's hear it.
Fantasy Life Online. I think it's some kind of sequel to a Xbox game, actually. And all right, here we go. And it looks pretty cool. I think it's a mobile game, because it's Japanese and everything in Japan is mobile. Yeah, it is. It is mobile. I want to know what you think about it.
Let me take a look. It looks cute, the art right now. But I mean, a lot of these mobile games look really good. Like I've seen trailers for a lot of these mobile games. They look great, but it's when you play them you realize there's like no substance.
Yeah.
I love the art style though.
Yeah, me too. The art style you see in this trailer is not quite the art in the game. It looks more like Animal Crossing in the actual game. But still, you can do fishing, crafting, and stuff. So this to me this is way more exciting looking than like MapleStory M or Star Ocean.
What? And same with the Mabinogi mobile game that's coming out too, right? We've seen the trailer for that. It looks really spicy.
Yep.
Like what I want from a mobile game, and really any MMORPG again, is I don't want this autoplay combat. Like autoplay in combat is not fun.
Yeah.
Like I want to do a lot of other things in an MMORPG, both on mobile and on PC. And it looks like all the side stuff here seems to be a pretty big deal. And as is with the Mabinogi mobile. I mean, Mabinogi, even in Mabinogi PC, the non-combat related stuff you can do in the game, like making your own music and stuff, it plays an important part in the game. It's there's a lot of shit to do besides core combat. So I like to see more mobile MMORPGs do that as well. And this looks fun.
Yeah.
There better not be an autoplay though. I'm seeing if I can find the autoplay button in these trailers.
Well, the good thing, like you said, is since it's not all about combat, the autoplay, even if it's there, will hurt it less, right? Because you can do this cooking and fishing and
player housing,
Yeah,
you customize your stuff. That's awesome.
whereas in MapleStory M, so far all I've seen to do is combat, and it's all automatic.
It looks nice though.
Mhm.
When is this game coming out?
It's not even out in Japan yet, so.
It's not gonna come. It's not in Japan yet. We're not gonna hear about it for a while. All right.
Yeah.
All right. While we're talking about mobile, let's get off mobile games for a second. All right. I want to know if you qualify as a hardcore gamer, Altay. All right.
Okay. What's
So
the
there's an
test?
article, a hardcore Chinese gamer. All right. So an article came out of VentureBeat earlier this year, and I just found it recently. And it looks at how many hours a hardcore PC gamers in China play 42 hours a week.
Wow.
Altay, are you a hardcore PC gamer?
When I'm here in Vancouver, I am not. I will admit that.
It's like 6 hours a week, 6 hours a day would make you a hardcore PC gamer. I think I'm firmly there.
I think I'm there when I'm in Vegas, but not here.
Though I do rotate a lot. I think a lot of people in our chat probably do as well. Like sometimes I'll go weeks without playing that much, right? Like I'll do more reading about games. I'll spend a lot more time on Reddit, do other stuff, and play games casually. But then when I'm back into the right zone, I can play for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So I'm currently definitely playing at least 42 hours a week.
I suspect in August I will definitely be, just because of World of Warcraft, and before WoW comes out, I'm gonna play Terraria again. So probably all of August I'll probably be a hardcore Chinese gamer.
And I think for mobile games that number is about 25 hours a week. So hardcore mobile gamers play 25 hours a week versus PC at 42 hours a week.
Well, get good, mobile people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they value completion and competition the most. The two most valued traits from these Chinese gamers.
Interesting. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, I like following this kind of related stuff.
So to be a hardcore gamer, you basically got a game as a full-time job. 42 hours a week.
It's 40 hours a week would be full time. So yeah, you gotta be a full-time
gamer.
Full-time gamer. All right. One other article I want to talk about, which I put up on MMOs.com. There was a good article on eSports in China, and we talked about eSports quite a bit, and how eSports, has started to take off. We have all these teams in America. We've had I think Madison Square Garden owns CLG now. You have a few big. I think there's a baseball team that owns Dignitas. Which team did the baseball team own? They own a big team as well. Some MLB team actually owns I think a league team, and a few basketball teams own other teams. It's getting pretty crazy big. But in America, for the most part, it's still kind of niche. We've talked about it. It really hasn't penetrated the mainstream yet. So this last weekend, Altay, the Overwatch League finals happened, right?
Okay.
It was actually broadcast on ESPN regular. So you just
Wow.
put on ESPN.
ESPN One, the actual ESPN.
Yeah, the actual. It was on ESPN 1, ESPN 2, all the ESPNs. All right, it was on
All
4 or
the
5,
ESPN.
all the fucking ESPNs. Right. So rarely do you see it on there. You'll see it on ESPN like 3 or some once in a while, right? But so Overwatch League, it had, let's see, I think they shared some numbers recently. Worldwide audience in the demo was 605,000 average per minute. It looks like the U.S. average per minute.
You got a link for this?
Yeah, hold on, let me find this. I'm looking at this from Seeking Alpha. London Spitfire captures history in Overwatch League Grand Finals. They won 2-0. Spoilers. Global average minute audience of 861,000. So it was supposed to be a big win for them, and I think the Overwatch League is profitable. It's one of the few esports leagues actually making money. A lot of these are money-losing enterprises, but they're doing pretty well with the Overwatch League. I know every time I've tuned in, I saw the ad for what are the Sour Patch Kids or something, right? So they got some big brand sponsoring them.
Sour Patch Kids.
I mean, I like candies, but I haven't had Sour Patch Kids in a while.
So, okay, I think we reported it. I think it's been over a year now that Blizzard bought MLG, right?
Yeah.
And I guess they're putting it to good use because, like you said, they're one of the few profitable esports ventures. Where for a lot of companies, it's kind of like a marketing thing.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a good buy for Blizzard. And
yeah, and
go ahead.
Right.
Oh, I was gonna say there's a good, interesting site with stats on different esports tournaments, and all of Blizzard's games are pretty high up there. You know, they did. Okay, here's the site. I found it. Okay, so here we go. Let me just show this on stream here. If we go to history, and we go by top games. So these are the top games in 2018 so far, of all the prize pools for all the tournaments combined for each game. Dota 2 is obviously highest at 12 million because of the international. But okay, so we have Overwatch here, number 4. Hearthstone, number 6. HOTS, number 9. HOTS is the number 9 esports right now in the world. How does that make you feel?
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
StarCraft 2, number 10 still, right? And then World of Warcraft is the lowest at 24, which I don't think they're even officially supporting right now. It's just like fan tournaments. But if
don't they still do big tournaments at BlizzCon?
I think they used to. I don't know if they still do. But if they do, if they start the arena tournaments again and they actually sponsor it, I think that'll go up too. But basically, all the Blizzard games are in the top 10 basically, except for WoW.
Surprise me. Some of the Blizzard games are the most iconic in gaming.
Yeah.
So look at the other look I sent you. So I want to talk about a little bit about the Chinese esports market. I think this is where America is going as well. I think China and Japan I think are both a bit ahead of America on mobile game adoption, but Americans are adopting mobile games very quickly as well. Mobile games are growing in America faster than I think much faster than PC games. But it's already big business over there. There was a good article on Bloomberg I based this on. But they filled a stadium of 18,000 people watching Honor of Kings, which is Arena of Valor in the West. It's the most popular game in China right now, and probably the world with how big their numbers are. And the game had 240 million daily views. That's the King Pro League, which is twice the audience of last year's Super Bowl, which is like the biggest television event in like American history. It's always gonna be Super Bowl. So it has twice the viewership of that, and it's not just viewership. Look at the esports market as a whole; it's absolutely nuts. It's about to be $3 billion in 2022. $3 billion is no small chunk of change. And look how fast it's growing with 2018. On that chart at the bottom, there's nuts.
Oh, I see.
Esports is it's going places, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this in the Olympics eventually. And we've talked about that in the past as well, but they're still trying to get something in there.
I don't think it's gonna happen, man. Like, why is this so important to some gamers? It's an Olympics. Like, chess is on an Olympics. Why can't it be its own thing?
Because people are going to watch it then. That's people. Olympics. Who watches the Olympics anymore? Every year the numbers go down. That's why they need numbers. They got to get the numbers.
Oh, so you're going to just do it as
yes. Whatever. Look, if the Olympics is dying as like a thing that people are going to watch, right? It's on the way down. Like they would put like pole dancing on there if it attracts people. They don't. I don't think the integrity matters.
So why? Wait, hold up. Then why haven't they done chess yet?
Because they might add that too. Because the numbers were not declining the way it is now. Like the numbers have been going down for the last few years. Millennials and young people don't really give a shit about the Olympics, and they'll add chess, they'll add everything in there. They want people to watch. They want the younger demographic to watch as well.
I think no, I don't think so.
What, you think they have this holier than thou like philosophy of what deserves to be? Nobody cares about that.
It's like imagine you have like a pizza place, right? You own a pizza place. Business is down a couple of years in a row. You're not gonna start selling like antique furniture in the back. Doesn't make sense. Like you don't just pile stuff on because, like just because it's a bigger business now.
It's more ancillary than.
It's
than
not
current
ancillary.
players.
Gaming
Yes.
in the Olympics is not ancillary. It should be its own. You can have the gaming Olympics, which is like its own thing, and you play all the different games.
Also, chess is boring. All right? Give me some of that Overwatch. Give me some of that League of Legends. All right, actually not League. Fuck League. League is the most. One of
Dude,
the most
hold on.
boring
I was
games
gonna
to
say
watch. Give me some Dota.
the average guy trying to watch a 40-minute league match, okay, in a stadium, is like, what the hell am I watching? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. League is still very very slow paced in the high end. I think the average league game, professional league game, has like 16 kills. The average like Dota game has like 57 kills.
Well-
So it's like triple the number of kills, to triple the action in a Dota game than in a league game.
Mm-hmm. And even Dota is pretty boring at the beginning. Like unless there's some crazy rotations going on.
But this Arena of Valor game really has not kicked off in America the way it
No.
has in China. Just I think the biggest, the most successful mobile MOBA right now is the League of Legends knockoff. What was it called? Bang Bang Mobile Legends. That's the one that's
Bang
making
Bang
it.
Mobile Legends.
It's called Bang Bang. That game made I think $200 million globally so far.
I gotta see this. Bang Bang.
It's just a pure. It was a League clone. Remember we talked about how they literally copied League's art and abilities.
I think I know it just as Mobile Legends. I didn't know the first part of the name.
Yeah.
I see
Give
it.
me some of the Bang Bang Mobile Legends. Mobile Legends Bang Bang. My bad.
Mobile Legends Bang Bang. This looks just like Arena of Valor or the League.
Slade says kill for kill isn't really a fair metric. Our average game time's the same. No, Dota game is definitely a little bit longer, but if you adjust it for minutes, it still has easily double. Dota has easily double the action of a League game, and it really comes down to game design decisions. Dota has more more items that allow more fast-paced combat, like things like Blink Dagger. Basically, you're always in danger of being ganked in a bigger map like Dota 2, and with more mobility. There's a lot more mobility in Dota 2 versus League of Legends. The map is small and you almost always know where everybody is. There's very little room to outplay enemies when they know where you are at all times. There's much less choice you have to make, where the choice trees in Dota 2 are much more complex.
I like
So,
that. Choice trees.
I think I'm a big fan of League of Legends. I've played thousands of hours of League, thousands of hours of Dota. I play League more than Dota, and I've watched tons of tournaments for both. And I think Dota 2 is undeniably the more exciting game to watch if you know what's going on in both games. And I enjoy playing League a lot more. So it comes from a League fan saying that Dota 2 is a more exciting game to watch.
I got an upcoming MMORPG that I'm excited about. Do you want to see it?
Sure, why not?
Let's see if you heard of this. It's called Survived By. It's basically if you like Realm of the Mad God, it's kind of similar, where it's a 2D game. It's a permadeath, just like Realm of the Mad God. And you basically, it's free to play. Looks good. Look at this.
Let's take a look.
I am down to play this for Grand Theft Friday when it comes out.
Survived by, yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure I put up the news for this a while ago. Pretty sure. Publishers Digital Extremes. They're the guys that make Warframe.
Oh.
Warframe is gonna be public. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize that till now.
Yeah, but they're not the developer. Human Head Studios. Never heard of them. The Survive By game looks pretty cool. I still think a lot of MMORPGs haven't they could. I would like to see a permadeath mode in other MMORPGs as well. Like I think it'd be cool to have a permadeath mode added on to World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14. Like why not? Like just a way for people to play the game.
I would love that in a PvP server. If there's some kind of like you play a certain class or a certain race, you're more powerful than everyone else, right? But if you die, you lose it. So that's a trade-off. That'd be cool. There has to be a trade-off. Like you should get more power or something.
Yeah, it would just make every experience feel more meaningful. Like it's weird because when I play Final Fantasy 14 or any MMORPG, I played like I actually just reinstalled Blade & Soul recently too. But I feel like when I die, the fear of dying is non-existent in any modern MMORPG. Like it's literally a minor inconvenience. Like at no point are you worried about dying. I know when we grew up playing Ultima Online EverQuest, it always felt like dying was actually like a big deal, and it wasn't a permadeath thing either. So you didn't like lose your character, but you had to go back to your corpse to get all your items back, and that was a journey. Sometimes you couldn't even make it back to your corpse. You need to get friends to help you because you have no gear when you respawn. Then you need friends to help fight stuff on the way to your body in the dungeon. It can be if you die in a dungeon, forget it. Like it was such a hassle to get back to your body.
Yeah.
And you could actually like get people to drag your corpse for you. So if you can like message somebody near your body like, hey, I'll give you some money, just bring my body back to me. Like you drag your body back towards you. Like dying was a big deal, and that was such an interesting part of the MMORPG experience. But with risks and reward, and you don't have to go too far into the risk category. Permadeath might be a bit too much, but dying should feel like you lost something. Like, even in vanilla WoW, like repair fees were never really a big deal, but dying in vanilla WoW still felt more annoying than today.
Yes, definitely. You had to run back. It took some time.
Run back to your course. If you didn't, you had to waste like 30 minutes of your time with rest sickness. That was annoying. Like every game today, dying is literally nothing. It's just like the only inconvenience is that loading screen.
It's a quick way to go back to town. To just die on purpose.
Sometimes it might be better to just die to go it might be a convenience thing to get yourself killed, which is really bizarre. I think like death should have a little more meaning in MMORPG without going too far into the hardcore camp, but they really just went too far into the casual camp.
Yeah, I think we're stuck there. I don't see a way out, especially with mobile games doing better and better.
Mobile games, with how successful mobile games are, and basically every game going the easier route. I think we're stuck there as well. It's unfortunate, but we've seen every MMORPG, whether it's Dark Age of Camelot, whether it's MapleStory, whether it's WoW, whether it's 14, go make their games easier. Every one of these games is more hardcore at launch, and it progressively gotten easier. In fact, I would say every single game, every MMORPG has progressively gotten easier and easier and easier. I mean, Final Fantasy 14, they're launching their latest raid content in September, and I'm really hoping their new raid content is challenging because I've only played 14 for like a year, and I've only seen 2 sets of raids, and they were the first one was it was harder, and this one is much easier from the last one, right? And from what my friends have told me, that it's the trend has been unbelievably going easier and easier and easier and easier. I'm curious if this trend will continue with this next set of raids, because because the difference between current raid content in Final Fantasy 14 with Kefka versus Neo Exdeath, it's like orders of magnitude easier. It's at least like 70% easier to clear. So I'm curious that if we're going to see that again, or will it spike up in difficulty a bit?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm actually curious to see what the WoW raids are going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Final Fantasy does this or not. So in WoW, the way it's going to work is the first raid's going to come out in September 4th. Expansion's going to come out in mid-August, right? So you're going to have like 2 weeks to gear up. And they're going to release the normal and mythical version first. So they're looking for group or version where it's the easy one will come out later, like a week or 2 later.
Yeah.
Did they do that in Final Fantasy?
No, they usually launch
at the same time. Oh. It's kind of cool that at least they give like the harder version.
I like that.
They get it first.
They did something there. Yeah. They did something there. Mm-hmm. And actually, Altay, I want to talk a little about design in League of Legends, because there's one aspect of the game which kind of falls into our design talk. Remember we talked about toxicity?
Yeah.
About design of games and toxicity. There's actually one element of League which I thought you might find pretty interesting. So, if you're playing a jungle character, right, you run smite. If you buy a jungle item, it means you kill the jungle ship faster.
Yeah.
If you kill minions, creeps in lane, you actually get penalized. You actually get like way less gold for it.
What?
Because the game is basically telling you, if you're playing a jungle,
stay out of the lane.
Stay out. Feel free to gank. Feel free to gank, but don't steal last hits. Because it was always annoying for players when jungle would do a failed gank, or not even a gank, just walk up to a lane and just kill 5 minions and leave, right?
That's a jungle tax. That's a gank.
that was a jungle tax. It was always part of the game, right? Yeah. People got annoyed by it. But they designed the game in such a way now that happens less, because there's no reason to do it anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it's a pretty interesting way to ratchet down the toxicity and the player infight with game design decision.
Exactly. That's good from that perspective. I think kind of silly that I think League and Riot trying to enforce such a solid meta is kind of a mistake, but that's a different matter. But in terms of toxicity, that's a great move. That's what I'm talking about. So if you could punish players for doing the activity that you don't like, but they can still do it, but they just wouldn't gain from it, they won't do it. People respond to these kind of incentives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a better way than either let's say jungle goes to your lane, he kills a couple of creeps, you rage at him, and he rages back at you, and you both get like a suspension.
Yeah,
like that's worse for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm reading the chat again. People are saying people still play League. Yeah, people still play League. I mean, people always make this argument about whether it's World of Warcraft, whether it's League, whether any game. When they stop playing it, they assume like, oh man, I know like 3 of my friends quit. The game is dead. Sorry to break it to you, but there are still new people discovering League and playing League today. And the last data that we got for League, hard numbers, was from Super Data Research. Their estimates put it at over 100 million monthly active users. That matches with the exact same data that League of Legends Riot Games themselves put out, I think, 2 years ago. So the worst case scenario for League right now is it's been steady for the last few years. It hasn't lost players. There's an article on Super Data Research saying that it's losing some players to it's losing players to Fortnite, but there's been no numbers released since then. So the only numbers we have access to were some Super Data that said over 100 million monthly active users. So League is still quite popular. People go in and out of League. I stopped playing League for like 2 years. I came back just recently, playing casually. But I think a lot of people that quit are coming back. A lot of people that never played are discovering the game and playing it now. So definitely it applies to WoW as well. WoW is not a dead game. People kind of assumed WoW was dead. And I think in an interview after Legion came out, there was they said there was 10.5 million subscribers. It was in a Polish magazine.
Whoa.
So 10.5 million subscribers is huge. It's not the all-time peak, but it's still immensely big.
Cash Shield subscribes 13 months in a row. Stop playing MOBADs.
MOBADs. I don't play too much anymore, so I'm a little more casual lately. But I don't know. I still enjoy my MOBAs.
But yeah, as you guys can see on the stream right now, so League of Legends is still the #1 grossing PC game in the world. So it's certainly not dying. Neither is WoW. WoW's #7 here. World of Tanks is still huge. Dota is still huge. Counter-Strike is still huge, guys. So that's the reality.
Yeah, these games aren't dying. They could be slightly off their peaks, but I think when people say dying, it's a bit dramatic. Like a dying game is like losing players very quickly. Or has very low players to begin with. The League is still firmly up there. Number 5 is Fantasy Westward Journey Online 2, a Chinese MMORPG, China only. That one is not out in the West. Pretty sure we showed a gameplay video of it before.
I'll find another one while we go.
Yeah, the game is pretty packed. It's like it's almost like I have a new term because there's one scene in the video you shared last time about how incredibly busy like one of the towns are. Like literally every inch of the city is packed. Like it's China busy. It's China popular.
China busy, boys.
It's China busy. Like sometimes when you look at like the popular place in World of Warcraft or an MMORPG, like the free market in MapleStory back when that was a thing, like it was packed with players. But nothing is as packed as Fantasy Westward Journey Online 2 is in the busy towns. It's nuts how busy that gets.
Guys, look at this gameplay, boys. This is what we call gameplay.
Yeah, look at that gameplay, boys. Look at this is China busy right there. All right, that's China busy. The way those towns get busy. Yeah, FGO makes a lot of money. Bit of a side note as well related to these games make tons of money. I read that Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Z mobile game. I forgot what it's called, but it's really popular.
Oh.
BDO something.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. How do you pronounce that word?
Nate was playing it. Yeah.
It's on my head. Wait. Bokadin? No.
Bokadin.
Is that it?
Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Sounds something like that, right?
Something like that.
Dokkan Battle.
I was totally off.
Totally off. My bad. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle has made over $1 billion in the last 3 years. What's nuts about that is the best-selling Dragon Ball Z game ever, according to VG charts, was the PS2 one, and it sold 3 million units. That's $150 million in gross sales. The DBZ mobile game has made $1 billion in 3 years. That's more than like the top 7 best-selling DBZ games combined. So, mobile games, boys. I've never played Dokkan Battle though.
I haven't either. I haven't played it either.
It's probably is another waifu collector. Well, it would be a husbando collector with Dragon Ball Z.
You can collect Chi-Chi. Don't worry.
All right, you collect Chi-Chi and Bulma, but there aren't really that many Dragon Ball waifus, unfortunately.
DBZ on Game Boy Advance was the shit. Yo, I agree. Omar, remember that?
That was a great game. It was like an RPG, right?
There were a couple of them. There were like at least 2 of those games.
Yeah, it was an action game. It was
yeah.
The DBZ on Game Boy Advance was awesome.
Action RPG or something.
Mm-hmm. All right, enough mobile games. Let's look at we're still a little bit hopeful on the PC, guys. NCSoft is working on a new MMORPG on the PC. All right, so this is actually some welcome news considering how many game developers have been churning out these mobile games. But looks like NCSoft is working on a brand new PC MMORPG with Unreal Engine 4, and it's going to be PC and console, nothing on mobile.
Thank God.
Based on the Aeon universe. So yeah, we're getting a real MMORPG from NCSoft. And they have not abandoned mobile.
Unreal 4, PC, not Unreal 3 like Bless and Air.
Yeah. So say what you will. I mean, regardless, it's NCSoft, but still, we're gonna get a real new MMORPG from them, not just more mobile shovelware. We don't know if it's gonna be Aeon 2. We don't know if it's a sequel, prequel. It could be a spin-off as well. All we know, it's related to Aeon. So it might be Aeon 2. It might be a prequel. It might be something unrelated. Well, it has to be related, but it might be a spin-off. But no word. Obviously, this is just they're literally hiring people for this, and they've not even announced this project yet. So it's gonna be years away. Because once they announce it, it'll be like at least a year for launching in Korea. and then before it comes to America, it'll be probably another year. So it's going to be quite a bit far away, but still surprised to see some new PC MMORPGs being announced, greenlit today. And we talked about it before that we won't have any big AAA MMORPGs coming on the PC anymore, but we got at least this one NCSoft game.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good news. Black Desert Online, Altay, the BDO remastered.
I heard. That's crazy.
Soon as well.
They're quick. You know, say what you want about
Pearl Abyss works quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the game is gorgeous as is. I mean, what do they need to remaster, honestly?
That's a good question. The graphics are already top. I think the draw distances. Some people were complaining about the foliage and other things that pop up only when you're close to them. So there's room for improvement, and I think it's great that at least we have a company like this that's actually pushing the genre forward on a technical level. They have their own engine. They know what they're doing in terms of the coding. So I hope they're successful.
Yeah.
The worst thing about BDO is some of the game design aspects, especially the equipment upgrading. I wish they just hired some other studio or like group to do that part, because it's so cringy the way it works now.
Mm-hmm. Game looks beautiful, but hopefully it'll optimize the game as well. I'm not sure. Like, will it just be an update patch, you think, or will they try selling it like the remastered version, like 4K texture?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think
I really hope they don't try selling it.
I don't think they will, but I don't know for that.
Yeah, I was looking for an answer for that. I couldn't find anything right away, so we don't know yet. It'll be revealed for the first time on August 11th. And BDO is still killing it. The game has over 10,000 players on Steam alone, and it was available, I think, for like a year off Steam as well. It's been a big success story. It's one of the most successful like Western MMORPG, again, one of the most successful MMORPGs launched in America in a while. Obviously, it's a Korean game, but it's booming here. It's actually, again, it makes more money. I think it's also one of the only Korean developed MMORPGs that makes more money in the U.S. and Europe than in its home market.
Wow.
Usually, China and Korea are their biggest markets for any of these MMORPGs. Even for Western MMORPGs, guys, Korea and China are usually the giant markets, but in this BDO is making more money in the West, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, I feel like BDO gets it's very hit or miss. People complaining about the lag and stuff, but
it's very grindy as well. But
yeah.
The grinding, it's I like grinding. Oh, how I love you, but I hate your guts. Crunky Fish, I think a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with it. People keep playing it though, so they're sticking around. That's the thing too. Terrifically, I mean, it is a single-player game with chat. Yes, 100%. But as are most MMORPGs. Sadly, that's the case with most MMORPGs.
Yeah.
I really feel like all my experience playing, when I played, played in Seoul, all my time playing Final Fantasy 14, like it really does feel like most of your game is spent especially the leveling process, until you get to like top end and then you want to do PvP or in PvE games like raiding. It's a single player game with chat.
Indeed.
RuneScape Mobile hopefully it does well. I'm rooting for it as well.
Is it actually out now, or is it like still in beta or something?
No, it's pretty much. I think all you do need a subscription to play it though. I think you need a member to play it right now. At least in beta right now. But I think all Twitch Prime members get membership in RuneScape for a month. So.
Oh, that's good.
Hell yeah. And we should go before we jump away from League too much. There was remember that tweet from Mark Merrill about a Riot developed MMO?
Yes, I remember that. That was funny.
It was unfortunately just a tease.
I don't think it was just a joke. I think the PR department.
They're backpedaling?
Yeah, the PR department made him say that because they're not ready to announce it or anything.
So we do know Riot Games. I mean, when Mark Merrill tweeted that, see if we can find the original tweet to show off whether Riot Games should make an MMORPG or not. I mean, it got a lot of people buzzing about it because I think a Riot developed MMORPG could be good. They have the resources. They have the most successful PC game in the world. They're backed by Tencent, the biggest gaming company in the world. I mean, they could do something. And Riot Games has posted blog post after blog post over the last few years. They were working on some other game. There's been numerous projects under works at Riot. They've been unannounced. So they're working on something. So maybe one team over there might work on MMO or something. That there's potential there. And the fact that people got excited over this one tweet, it shows that there is demand for an MMO. People want to play an MMORPG. It's a magical genre. People want to play it.
I agree, and I think what was that map website that they launched, like League of Legends, like lore map?
It's on the Twitter. Let me see if we can find Mark. His original tweet had it. They were trying to show off the lore of League of Legends, though. Again, I'm not sure. You know.
You don't like the lore in League of Legends?
Yeah, I'm not sold on the lore. So yeah, he tweeted himself that he retweeted the article saying Riot Games co-founder was just joking about League of Legends. He tweeted that saying blame it on Runeterra fever. So here was the original tweet out there. Yeah.
I want to explore the lore in
who really cares about the map of Runeterra? Come on.
Well, why would they do a map of Runeterra if they weren't working on some kind of other game, like with RPG elements?
Well, yeah. I think if they were working on MMORPG, this would make sense. You want to develop the world.
Oh my God, it's loud. All right, here we go. So guys,
that makes sense.
What is this? Like this? Well, you wouldn't do this for a MOBA. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really care about this, like the lore of the game. I think most people don't care either, and they've changed the lore so much already. Pretty sure they got rid of summoners too, and that's not like a thing anymore. But then I'm not sure why people keep battling on Summoner's Rift either. So who knows? You know?
Let's just rename it Rift.
Just call it the Rift.
The Rift.
They do refer to it as the Rift sometimes. But it would be nice to see an MMORPG come out of them. But right now, all we know is it was a meme, or it was a joke, or they're working on something unannounced that clearly isn't ready enough to be declared on Twitter.
Dude, they should.
Well, a lot of comments here are very supportive too. Like make an MMO. Like a lot of people want an MMO.
I agree, and League has so much money now. There's and there's a huge. The great thing about WoW when it came out was it had such a big fan base already from War 3, right? So a lot of people coming in for the first time to MMORPGs, and I think the same thing could happen with League. If League made an MMORPG, you'd have literally tens of millions of players who haven't played any MMORPGs, right, or any big ones, who would come in for the first time because they played League.
Yeah, a lot of cross promotion there, and you have a lot of characters as well to use, and whatever assets you've built in League, you have something to work off of. If you want to make it in the world of Runeterra. I think one of the reasons World of Warcraft is successful too is it was built on the Warcraft franchise. Warcraft 3, Warcraft 2, like these games, these characters, the stories in those games, they had a lot to work with. I mean, obviously there isn't as much substance in League of Legends to work with as Warcraft 3, but I mean, there's a lot here. There's characters, their backgrounds, their stories. They could do something with it.
Let's see, who's from Bilgewater Bay? Misfortune.
The pirate people. Misfortune
Gangplank.
and Gangplank.
Graves.
I don't know about the rest.
Nautilus.
I know Graves was there.
Fizz.
Hold on. Graves still has a cigar, right? Is that cigar? I'm pretty sure did they add it back?
Let's find out. No, he no cigar. I don't see.
Graves has no cigar still. No, he does. I think.
Not in this picture.
There's a post on Rift Herald saying Graves' cigar returns to League of Legends.
Oh,
we did it, internet.
Nice.
I said they tweeted with his cigar back.
Ionia, the first lands. I remember Ionia from when I played too.
Yeah, but again, I don't really know too much about the League lore, and I've played League on thousands of hours. I've spent way too much time on it.
I'm telling you, they're working on RPG.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Indeed. You got anything else here to show?
I got one sad story.
Let's hear the sad story.
All right, so EA, being the douchebags that they are, have decided to shut down an open source release of SimCity 2000. Like, why? Like, look at this game. Like, no one's gonna buy this, right? So why are they going out of their way to fuck with them? I don't get it.
Wait, they shut down the open source release? Why? Yeah.
Well,
so
because
weird.
certain audio and visual elements were from the copyright. But the guy who made it said he's going to replace those with his own, I guess, custom audio visual assets and then re-release it. But it seems like such a petty thing. Somebody at EA is working to look at, find these like tiny things and just go after them.
Yeah.
I don't get why.
Yikes. Odd.
Yep, that was it. Just wanted
was it, boys.
Just wanted to shit on EA for a minute before we.
That's always good. It's always good to end on shitting on EA, All right, I think we should call it for the post game. See if we can find.
We'll call it for the stream and move on to the post.
For the stream.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Hopefully, next week when I'm back in Vegas, we'll try to figure out how to stream on both Twitch and YouTube at once. Shouldn't be too hard.
No, we can figure it out. So Altay, I pulled a random soundtrack from MMOs.com/music. And we got Spirit Tales. Go ahead a random soundtrack and play that in the background while we talk. All right.
Well, we close the stream first. All right. So, take care, guys.
Take care for YouTube.